But if the goal is for you to open up, for you to have these uncomfortable conversations, and for you to get him to see that there is even a problem, then it's going to be very, very important that you listen to his perspective. Notice how I said you don't have to agree, you don't have to conform, but listen to his perspective and understand it. Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. My husband refuses to see that there's a problem. I mean, it's not a big problem where I think we're going to get a divorce, but it is a problem. And it's taken over our relationship. It's impacted us. I feel as if he dismisses me. I feel as if he minimizes like exactly how I'm feeling about just our current circumstances. It's almost as if for him, it'd be better if I had this made up in my head instead of admitting that, yeah, there is a problem. It's been really difficult for me to have conversations with my husband, and usually they'll end up in an argument. I try to go ahead and communicate my needs. I try to go ahead and open up to him. But for whatever reason, it keeps on going back to the same thing. I'm crazy. I mean, I'd have to be crazy, right? I'm the only one that sees that there's a problem. When it gets really, really bad, he'll go ahead and adjust. He'll change things. But it literally lasts what feels like a minute. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Maybe it's more like a month. But then we revert back to the same habits. It's as if nothing ever changed. How am I supposed to get my husband to see that there's a problem? Well, this is a common complaint I get from so many women. It's almost as if their husbands refuse to see that there's an issue. Almost as if they're afraid to see there's an issue. Which one would you think it was? By a show of hands, because I could totally and clearly see you guys. But which one would you say it was? Is it the fact that he fears that there's a problem? Or is it that he's just completely clueless? Which one would you say it is? He fears there's a problem or he's clueless? I wonder how many of you actually... I wonder what like the percentage is. How many feel like their husband is completely clueless and how many feel that their husband fears that there's a problem? I want you to go ahead and let me know on Instagram. Go ahead and send me a private message on Instagram. My tag name is Hey Veronica Cisneros. And I want you to let me know, do you feel like it's fear that's keeping your husband from seeing that there's a problem? Or is it that he just is completely oblivious to the fact that there is a problem? Let me know. I want to go ahead and tailor this podcast episode to helping you with some conversations. So here are some conversational ways to get your husband to see that there is a problem in your marriage. Grab a pen and paper, ladies, because just like always, you're definitely going to want to take some notes. So ultimately, you want to start with a positive statement. Begin the conversation by expressing your love and appreciation for your husband. This will help to set a positive tone for the conversation and show that you are not attacking him. Step 2, use I statements. Instead of blaming your husband for the problems in your marriage, use I statements to express how you feel. For example, I feel like we're not as close as we used to be, or I'm worried about our future together. Let's go ahead and dive into step 3, conversation starter, step 3. Be specific. It's important to be specific about the issues that are causing problems in your marriage. For example, if you feel like your husband is not spending enough time with you, explain how this makes you feel and why it's important to you. Ladies, as you're utilizing these conversation starters, I also want you to be open to him expressing his feelings as well, without judgment, without criticism. A lot of you might struggle with having these conversations. And if you're struggling to have a conversation, well, we need to talk offline. Maybe we need to schedule an appointment. Let's go to this next step. Listen to your husband. It's important to listen to your husband's perspective and understand his point of view. This will help you to find common ground and work together to find a solution. This is another area where I see a lot of women struggle because the minute their husband says, well, every single time I open up and share how I'm feeling, you just ignore it. That's not true. Yesterday, I listened to you talk forever about what you were dealing with. That is not true. I'm going to tell you right now, if he's saying it, it is. At least from him. I want you to think about dialectics. Dialectics is when two opposing beliefs, thoughts coexist. Nobody owns the truth. This is his truth, just like you have your truth. But if the goal is for you to open up, for you to have these uncomfortable conversations, and for you to get him to see that there is even a problem, then it's going to be very, very important that you listen to his perspective. Notice how I said you don't have to agree, you don't have to conform, but listen to his perspective and understand it. Next way, number 5, avoid blaming and criticism. Blaming and criticizing your husband will only make him defensive and less likely to listen to your concerns. I'm going to tell you right now, this one, I'm not going to lie, this one is hard. And it's hard because we all get on the defensive. Again, by the show of hands, how many of you get on the defensive whenever you feel like your partner is either not agreeing with you or is not in line with your values? I'm going to tell you right now, I do. Regardless of if I'm a therapist or not, regardless of if my specialty is marital therapy, it still does happen. Instead, focus on finding solutions together. Next, seek professional help. If you're having trouble communicating with your husband or resolving issues in your marriage, consider seeking the help of a professional counselor or therapist. They can provide you with the tools and support you need to work through your problems and strengthen your relationship. So let me go ahead and add to that. Oftentimes, we find these conversations, we'll start to go ahead and do them, and we'll start to implement some of these skills that I've been teaching you. And then it turns into an argument. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm practicing a skill. Here. Why don't you listen? I'm practicing a skill here. Why don't you go ahead and pay attention? Why don't you stay on track? Well, part of the reason is because there's been a good amount of damage to the relationship. And because there's been a good amount of damage to the relationship, we struggle to see eye to eye. We even struggle to trust each other. Trust each other with our feelings, trust each other with our thoughts, trust each other with our emotions. And so because we struggle to trust one another, we might not be open to hearing what our partner has to say. Instead, we might be closed off. How many of you feel like you are closed off? Closed off from opening up, closed off from sharing what you're experiencing, closed off from allowing your partner in? How many of you are there right now? I want you to think about that. When do you think that started to happen? I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't overnight. It When do you think that started to happen, where you guys closed off from one another? You stopped trusting each other. Has it been a month, 2 months, a year?
I know looking for the right therapist can be challenging. However, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is even harder. Life is filled with several twists and turns, some more severe than others. We do our best to handle them as they come and find ourselves at a loss, not knowing what to do or who to turn to. The clinicians here at Outside the Norm Counseling are here to help. We are here to assist you through this time of need. Together, we will identify your strengths and goals and teach you healthy coping skills. Together, we will develop a plan to help you live the life you want to live. Our team is compassionate, genuine, and we take a great deal of pride in providing an empathetic, non-judgmental approach to all of our clients. It's time. You've waited long enough, whether it be for you, your child, or if you're in need of a couple session. We are highly trained clinicians ready to guide you. Schedule an appointment now by calling 951-395-3288. Again, that number is 951-395-3288. We're looking forward to meeting you and being a part of your journey.
I'm starting a course right now with a big group of ladies, and I'm super excited to start this course. It is a 5-week course, and it is called Reignite Your Marriage by Reclaiming Your Identity. And it starts this week. I'm excited to start this course because there are a lot of women that find themselves struggling with communicating with their partner, connecting with their partner, and even identifying who they are outside of all of the roles they play. And if you find yourself stuck in this position, like I mentioned, maybe it's time to go ahead and seek professional help. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you guys have to go to therapy. You guys can try marital coaching. I am offering this new program that is marital coaching. It's a 12-week program, and those 12 weeks are intensive. We're going to be practicing the 7 principles. And if you haven't looked that up right now or yet, go ahead and look it up. It's called the 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. And so in this 12-week intensive coaching session, I'm going to be going through how to build not only connection and conversation in your marriage, but I'm going to be teaching you how to go ahead and develop new love maps. I'm going to be teaching you the difference between solvable and perpetual problems. I'm going to help you understand marital conflict, how you can let your partner influence you, the different kinds of marital conflict, solvable problems, how to overcome gridlock, how to create shared meaning, how to enhance your love for one another, how to make your marriage work, the difference between nurturing and fondness and admiration, how to turn toward each other instead of away. A good amount of you struggle with all of these skills. If you and your partner are ready to go ahead and work on your relationship and you want to work privately with me, then I highly encourage you to go ahead and contact me. You can contact my office by calling 951-395-3288. We will go ahead and schedule your first appointment, which will be a assessment. We'll go ahead and discuss where your relationship's at, what are your strengths, what goals you have for your relationship, and what exactly do you find that is impacting your marriage the most? And then I'll go ahead and let you know, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I believe we work on, that we need to work on, we need to focus on, and then we take it from there. So if you are ready for that 12-week intensive, go ahead and contact my office and go ahead and schedule an appointment. In conclusion, listen, I know approaching your husband about the problems in your marriage can be difficult, but it's important to do so in a conversational and non-confrontational way. By using these I statements, being specific, listening to your husband, avoiding blame and criticism, and seeking professional help if needed, you can work together to strengthen your relationship and build a happier, healthier future together. That's the end result, right? That's what we all want. I want you guys to think about what is standing in your way from taking advantage of this opportunity. If you tell me it's time, we just don't have enough time. I want you to imagine what it would be like if you told somebody who was in their 90s, me and my husband don't have the time to go ahead and work on our marriage. What do you think they would say? What do you think they would say? What are you actually hearing them say right now? They would reply with, make time. It's so important to make time for your marriage, especially if you're struggling. You know you're struggling, and I'm going to tell you right now, time will only make it worse. So if you're ready to take that next step and you find these conversation starters a little bit difficult, I'm here to help you through that process. Go ahead and implement these skills, and I want to hear back from you. Again, you could either schedule an appointment with me, or if you've implemented these skills and it was success, I want to hear all about it on either Instagram or any social media that you're following me on. Again, my tag name is Hey Veronica Cisneros. I'm making this podcast episode short and sweet. And the reason why I'm making it short and sweet is because this is intense. There can be all kinds of emotions wrapped around having this conversation. Intimidation, nerves, fear, frustration, all of the above. And so if that's what you're experiencing right now, like, how am I going to start this conversation? How am I going to convince him, or how am I going to get him to believe that there is a problem? I want you to give yourself some grace. Make sure that you are ready to have a conversation. In addition to that, before you have this conversation, I want you to make sure that you're willing to listen. What is the ultimate goal for the conversation? Is it to force him to believe that there's a problem? Or is it to be open, to have an uncomfortable conversation and be on the same page? I'm going to tell you right now, that right there is the ultimate goal. It's the ultimate goal. We don't necessarily have to agree, but it's important we're willing to open up to maybe things that have been bothering us. Again, let me know how this conversation went by sending me a message or by booking an appointment. That's all the time I have for today. Until next time, bye.
Let's be honest. We can all use a little help in our marriage, especially when it comes to communicating. I have created a guide just for you. 5 things that are killing your marriage, tips from a therapist. Find out if you are making these marriage mistakes. Ladies, this guide is 100% free. I will give you practical tips and easy to use strategies to apply right away. You all know I'm a huge advocate for couples. I am on a mission to help you and your partner experience stress-free living. With this free guide, we are setting our marriages up for success. But it starts with you. You will find this free guide here in the show notes, or go to www.veronicacisneros.org. The information I will be providing you is next level, and people pay good money to get these tips that I will be giving you for free. Don't forget to share this with a friend. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
Oh, hey, it's Erin.
And I'm Michaela, and we're the hosts of the Two Sober Girls podcast, and we are on a mission to spill the wild truth about sobriety.
Forget the rosé all day cliche. Sobriety is flipping amazing.
Absolutely. It's not just about quitting the drink. It's a gift you give yourself and your loved ones.
So what are you waiting for? Break up with that old toxic relationship with alcohol and let us show you the possibilities.
And here's the thing. Everything your precious heart desires becomes way easier without the influence of alcohol.
We're not just two sober girls, we're also wellness coaches. We're here to show you how to optimize health, lifestyle, and beauty, feel sexy and alive as F.
So stay tuned because we're rolling out new episodes every Monday wherever you get your podcasts, and trust us, they have your name written all over them. We can't wait to share the magic of sobriety and wellness with you. Subscribe to Two Sober Girls podcast today and come follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes action and send us a DM. We can't wait to meet you.